After the near end brought about by chaos, it came that the clans of Karak-Tor were soon forced to send out scouts and mining envoys to establish new holdings, to replenish their reserves after the score of attempted sieges by the Skaven and the Greenskin hordes. And so the orders came for Clan Vale to be the vanguard into the neighboring countries of Estalia, Tilea, and the border princes. They were tasked with setting up new outposts and mines where able, and to clear a path for the main forces that King Nor would be sending. It would be a difficult journey, but the dwarves of Clan Vale knew that their leaders would see them through it all. This mission was of vital importance to the Karak, and if they could not gather enough supplies, the entirety of the Tor would fall in a few short years to starvation and infighting. They had survived the onslaughts of all manner of foul beast and man. They would not fall to something as unworthy as a lack of food and a few inner-born grudges. "Set off, Rangers," the stout voice called, the talismans of his beard clanging against the armor as he turned to look over the rest of the warriors. "Dowie, march! We will save our hold!" And with that, the small force set off into the surface realm, the sunlight beaming off their armor and brightly polished weapons. The one calling the commands was the venerable Foric, bearer of the van, a dwarf elevated to thanehood after many years as a captain of the Iron Dragons. In his vanguard sat two others, who, unlike Foric, were here of a more support role. Gris Stonebeard, a runesmith sent to secure all potential mining sites, and Rollis Gunnarsson, who would head the securing of all the outpost sites. And so Clan Vale marched onward, but they could not have known what was to come. None could have. Smoke and fire and screaming. So beautiful, thought the shaman Brejik, as he turned over some human that had failed to escape the gore's onslaught. His thoughts were quickly forced elsewhere as the sound of one of the minotaurs approaching. "Shaman," the beast snarled, his hulking form dwarfing all those around him, and an almost fear-inspiring presence emanating from his growl. Brejik turned, a twisted grin almost causing the bloodkin to regret speaking to him. "Oh? Something speaks to Brejik? Tell Brejik, does this one who speaks wish to challenge?" The Minotaur stepped back at this. No creature bearing any intelligence would challenge Brejik to a duel. The shaman was known for being as cunning as he was brutal. The last gore to challenge him had ended up inside out, which was worsened by the fact that the gore had not died from that. Brejik's brutality knew no limits. The bloodkin swallowed what courage it could before speaking. "No, great Brejik. Tribe wants to know what we do next. Rest or move." Brejik frowned slightly at the refusal of a challenge. "We will move on. I feel our fathers calling us. Call the herd. We move south." Walking off, the Minotaur scoffed at the idea of going south into the lands that was sacked by the Skaven. The rat men tasted worse than they smelt, and they smelt worse than the average gore. But Brejik had ordered them south, and no one disagreed with the shaman and lived to tell the tale. Turning back to the dead human, Brejik pondered the meaning of man. They must be mad and cursed. Such a hideous form, and unwillingness to serve the fathers. His hand poked the corpse's cheek. "Poor, poor man-things," he muttered. It would be a short journey from the lands of Bretonnia to that of their neighbors, but Brejik was certain that the old gods would show him how to help all the poor lost souls of the other races find their way back into the light of chaos. But they would likely say no, and Brejik would have no choice but to free them of their mortal bodies and show them the truth, and that only saddened the shaman. "If only," the shaman brooded, as the herd began once again moving through the forest.